You know she's getting filled by some black stud. You know there's some black fucking bull that's just filling her with cock meat, giving her the real fuck she deserves. Some big black bull just filling her with cock meat. For any of you who think she might be cucking me right now or something like that, don't worry about that because she will be staying here. So don't get any crazy ideas, 4chan.
All right, folks, how are we all doing? I didn't realize that clip had a second of copyrighted music on here, so watch this stream get yanked down now. But speaking of monetization issues, we already have a super chat from the good Syndicate Chief. Let's go ahead and refresh it.
Have you heard of Jesus?
And he says, tithe to the Church of Saint Bulbasaur the Mirthful. Well, yes, I am very mirthful. And thank you very much for that. We should be joined shortly by our good buddy Luke. He said he was up for streaming. Stephen C. Says hello. I believe that's the person that sent a rather substantial donation when we were off air, so that's appreciated. Especially right now. 2 weeks off. I mean, I'm happy to have the time off, and I do need to work on the writing project, but, you know, the time off means I'm not getting any box factory ducats. Keep up the good work, Beckloff. Well, I don't know how good this work is, but I indeed shall keep it up. Because honestly, you know, I mean, it's like I kind of gave it up. I don't want to say professionally, because I would never call this. Maybe the election stream, I skirted the edges of a professional level, but this has always been dicking around hobby, side hustle at best. And I don't even do the Patreon anymore because I don't do this regularly enough to feel comfortable collecting a Patreon. It's one thing, you know, if you folks, when you're listening or you had just listened or something, want to donate, but the regular Patreon, it should be a regular thing, and I don't make it a regular thing, so. But yeah, I kind of was like, oh, I'm gonna walk away from the internet. I'm done. I'm gonna pursue other things. And then I try to do, look at the land shark stuff, and it's like, good Lord, part of me really wants to do that kind of content. But the other part of me realizes it's like, especially because I don't know what I'm doing with it, and it's a steep learning curve, and it's just pouring a whole lot of time and effort into something that just isn't going to make any fucking money. It just isn't. And it's not that money's the only thing, but, for the creative outlet, I can get out here and I can bullshit with you people. And the writing, I kind of fell back into the writing. And, I had an idea for a story I'd sat on years ago. And I pitched the idea to Forney. He liked it. I mean, he hasn't obviously seen a final product, so, maybe he's going to choose not to publish it. Maybe he's going to say, wow, Beckloff, you're retarded. This is utter dog shit. But it's been nice working on that the last couple months now. I have enjoyed doing that. I guess it's only been about a month that I've really been working on it. I kind of kicked around the idea for a while and was doing a little research for it. But it wasn't until last shutdown at work that I really sat down and started doing it. Started working on it hardcore. Oh, here looks like we have a Hangouts from our good buddy Luke. So let's check in on that. We will allow the microphone and don't allow the camera because my camera doesn't work on this laptop anyways. Plus, no one needs to see my ugly mug. Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Oh, hello, little fairy. Are you going to tell me this is all a fantastical dream? Give me your skin!
Somebody in the chat says Razorfist is about to publish his book. I heard that, but I have heard of that, but I don't know what his book's on. I haven't really. I mean, I've watched some of his rants, but I haven't really watched his streams. Oh shit! I accidentally showed the fucking the fucking link to the stream.
We can always make a new one.
Don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna hop in. Who cares? Maybe Syndicate Chief is the only one autistic enough to have ever seen the link for a split second and hopped in. Now, if I had a big audience, if I was one of them guys that had hundreds of people listening, then yeah, we'd be flooded with some, Sargon would come in here and post gay porn or something, but gay and a racial porn too, because he has very particular taste, Luke. He's got a refined palate.
Yeah, he is British. He is British.
None of that regular gay porn. Nothing so pedestrian. Another donation. Spice Weasel sends $5. Thank you very much. It says, "Don't shut up and take my money." Well, I appreciate that. And Dashing Rogue in the chat. Good to have you. Luke, when can we expect the artistic layman sex tape where it's all animated?
Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of work ethic.
For the sound effects, Luke just punches a jar of mayonnaise.
Oh.
Like a boot stuck in mud, only wetter. And Steve's Jerky in the chat, which, by the way, folks, check out Steve's Jerky, facebook.com/Steve's Jerky. Best jerky you can buy.
Indeed.
And I'm not just saying that because he paid me. Although that doesn't hurt. But no, seriously, good, damn good jerky. Oh, man. So what are your thoughts, Luke, on the Gunt apocalypse?
What happened?
The Ethan Ralph stuff. Haven't you been keeping up with this?
I haven't been keeping up with anything these days.
Okay, well, here's the story. Here's the story. So Ethan Ralph, who, as we all know, is a self-destructive alcoholic, and he was dating an 18-year-old, and then she supposedly left him to go back to her original boyfriend, and then she was telling her original boyfriend, "I never even slept with Ralph. I was just using him for the money," all this other bullshit. And then Ralph, and he was doing, the other boy was doing a stream where he was, running his mouth about how Ralph was a loser and he didn't get no pussy from this girl. And Ralph's like, "Oh yeah?" So Ralph publishes a little homemade porno. He sends it to this guy live. Oh. In fact, Luke, I have something I'm going to send you on Skype. You could throw up on screen. It's a little GIF. It's just a little GIF. You can put at the bottom of the screen. This is a safe for work portion of this. One person cut something in particular out of this. See, Ralph was on his back during this sexual escapade, as you can imagine he would have to be. And the jiggling belly of Ralph has become quite the meme. And
boy.
So
let's see what we got here.
Oh, and the other interesting thing about this, he was doing reverse cowgirl with her, which is not a particularly interesting. It's not a particularly interesting position. When you're, when you're shooting a porn from a POV perspective. Reverse cowgirl happens in regular porn because, in most porn that's aimed at heterosexual men, you're obviously going to want to show off the woman as much as possible as opposed to the man. So, reverse cowgirl is, her showing off for the camera. But when it's a POV, all you're really getting is this chick's back, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not the best position to be shooting a porn. But anyways, while he's reverse cowgirling her, he decides to stick his hoof into her anus. So he jams his big old pork thumb into her anus, which arguably is more stimulating than his penis. And then you see the hand come back up, and you hear a big old sniff.
Oh.
A big old...
Did I really need to know that?
Yes, you did, Luke. You did need to know that. You needed to know every part of that. In fact, I will send you the video later, by the way.
I'm cynical enough to think that I don't need to know much of anything anymore.
You know what, though? Here's my thing. You can laugh at the fact that Ralph's fat, but hey, I'm fat, okay? And I'm quite certain that a lot of you in the audience are also fat. This is America in the year 2020. Who the fuck are we kidding? And you're going to laugh at the old thumb in the butt thing, but hey, you know what? Heat of the moment. I ain't going to act like I'm fucking proud of everything I've done in the bedroom. I'll tell you where I got issue with it. The motherfucker's posting revenge porn of this 18-year-old girl, which, who knows what kind of long-term fucking effects this is going to have on her life. Why? To win an argument with an 18-year-old boy? Like, you're a 35-year-old man. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, real quick. Steve's Jerky says $2 from each jerky sale tonight goes towards Beckloff. So if you folks are feeling like buying some jerky, now would be the time. Why, that's a win-win. You get yourself some jerky, and I get myself some shekels. You could probably take the belly down now. Just, I mean, put it back up whenever you feel like it, but just let's not have it up the whole time. Oh.
Right.
Look, I've talked about this on here before, but I'll talk about it a little bit more. Argent brought up this point. I think it's a very valid point. A lot of people are making jokes about Ralph being a pedo because he's banging an 18-year-old. Well, that's not how, to quote the Geico commercial, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. All right? I mean, she is of legal age. That's the thing with age of consent. It's not exactly a clear line, but we had to draw a line somewhere. That's where we drew it. And he's on the legal end of the line. You got to give him that. Now, I've heard a lot of people outright condemn the age difference. That a 35-year-old man has no business dating an 18-year-old girl, period. Full stop, end of discussion. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that. Look, I dated a lot of age differences in my day. I've dated some girls considerably younger than myself. I dated one woman who was considerably older than myself. I dated a woman in her late 30s when I was 25. I have dated some age differences. And I don't really think there's anything inherently wrong with it. I really don't. Now, look, you can point to the fact that this girl is just out of high school and she's obviously not all that mentally stable. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that. And, obviously this is an e-celeb she may have looked up to. Is it sleazy? In most cases, yes. A 35-year-old man dating an 18-year-old girl is not a particularly good thing. I'm not going to full-on condemn the age difference. I'm not at all. All right? Like mundane Matt ones who go like, Ralph's a pedophile. Come on. Let's be real. Let's the average age that people lose their virginity in the United States of America is 17. Okay, so, it's not like there's some magical line in the sand when people suddenly become sexual, okay? And that's the average age. So that means a lot of people, it's considerably younger, for better or worse. Ralph's not a pedophile, all right? Again, is it kind of sleazy? A little bit, yeah. Luke, can you tighten up your screen resolution a little bit? It is kind of blurry. See if you can do something about that. Yeah.
I'll try to switch the cameras around.
Yeah. It is kind of sleazy. I'm not gonna lie, but again, it's kind of sleazy because it's just he's taking advantage of the girl. He's wrecking the girl's life, and he's posting revenge porn of her. And the revenge porn. I mean, I don't care how old this girl is. That's not fucking cool. This girl could have been fucking 40. That still would have been a shitty thing to do. And I like Ralph personally. I'm knocking your screen down there, Luke. Because the res is just so bad tonight. I'm just going back to the meme scroll. But anyways, I like Luke personally. I like Ralph personally. I've had nothing but pleasant interactions with him. Now, I don't interact with him that much here lately. He's kind of a big shot here these last couple years. No time for a little peon like me, but I used to bullshit with him quite a bit in the Gamergate days and all that kind of crap, and he's always been nothing but nice to me. But I'm not a certain bald bisexual Canadian I once knew, and I don't measure a person's morality solely on whether or not they're nice to me. Ralph's kind of a piece of shit. Now, if he hears this, he'll probably hate me now. I don't hate Ralph. I don't honestly hate Ralph at all. I hope he gets his life together. He obviously needs to go to rehab for alcoholism and probably other substance abuse issues. You know, motherfucker needs Jesus. Like, I hope he gets himself together. I don't really have any ill will towards the man, but the fact of the matter is his behavior is indefensible. You know? It's just that simple. You know, posting revenge porn of your fucking, I guess kind of at the time, ex, to win an argument with an 18-year-old boy, it's just fucking indefensible. And you can laugh at the thumb in the butthole all you want. You can laugh at the big fat gut, and yeah, it's funny. But the real meat of this issue is, again, he's quite probably wrecked this woman's life. Now, the other thing where people call him a pedo, and this is a bit more damning evidence, but I still don't think it's enough to call him a pedo. Ralph had Soph on at one point. Soph, you may or may not remember, was I believe when she started, 11-year-old girl who started doing YouTube videos, and they were fucking beast! They were obviously kind of right-leaning memes, as most of the young kids are these days. And they were funny videos, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna act holier than thou. There were some funny videos. I fucking watched them. I fucking liked them. However, everybody, like, having Soph on their show and, like, really, like, pimping this girl out and, you know, putting her on Gavin McInnes's network or whatever the fuck was going on with her, that's bad, okay? She's an 11-year-old girl, all right? And especially when you're shitposting on the right, that can ruin your life, all right? It's just, I'm just not comfortable with it. And there does come a point where, look, a lot of those videos are funny, but, I mean, when it comes to any sort of serious political commentary, I'm not going to listen to a fucking 11-year-old girl, okay? I'm not inclined to listen politically to the female of the species, period, let alone when they're fucking 11. I'm just not going to do that. You know, I always hate, and the right's really, really guilty of this. The left will do it sometimes, but the right does this a lot because the right loves their fucking tokens. All right, the old joke, what do you call a black guy at a libertarian conference? You call him the keynote speaker. The right loves their fucking tokens, and they love to prop out some fucking kid. All right, I've seen this happen on, like, Fox News a bunch of times or something, where it's like, look, this fucking 15-year-old kid says neocon talking points. Isn't that fucking... Anyways, I bring up Soph to say this is the one thing Ralph did. A lot of people are throwing this in his face. So Ralph has Soph on his show at one point. Okay, fine. I wouldn't, but whatever. He's not the only guy that did that. But I don't think it was that night, but it was like later. It was like in a later stream. I think it was. Again, I don't have the lore exactly correct. It might have been after the legendary pill stream, where he was pretty fucking high. But there's a stream where he leaves his fucking stream on after he thinks he signed out, right? And you see him going through a few things, and then you see him watching the stream with Soph, right? The old stream with Soph. And he pauses right on Soph's face for like 5 minutes. And then like does other shit or whatever. So a lot of people are suggesting that the reason he did that is he was cranking one out to Soph. There's a lot of other explanations for what happened there, and while that's even far more sleazy than dating an 18-year-old, I mean, at this point, Soph is like 13, so I wouldn't quite call it pedophilia. It's obviously pretty fucking shitty. But
I don't see anything wrong with what she's doing.
She's gained more subscribers in a month than we have in a year.
That's because the alt-right love hearing their views coming from women.
Well, you ask me. It's a cheap way of getting views.
Hey guys.
Sup?
And look, the reason I say it's not pedophilia, I'm not trying to defend it, but pedophilia is a very, very heinous thing. It is fucking a prepubescent child. Okay? which has disastrous mental consequences on that victim. It is a very, very heinous thing, and I don't want to see it conflated with other things that aren't as bad. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's bad to go up to somebody and punch them in the face. That's bad, that's illegal, that's immoral, that's wrong. It's far worse to go up to somebody and stab them in the gut. You see what I'm saying? Two things can be wrong, but one of them can be more wrong, okay? You know, you can be more wrong. There's that old saying that, you know, it's wrong to call a tomato a vegetable instead of a fruit. It's more wrong to call it a suspension bridge. You know, you can be more wrong. And morally, you can be more wrong. That, you know, so it is very, very sleazy, for example, and I'm not even saying, like, for a 40-year-old man to fuck a 15-year-old is completely fucking sleazy, completely indefensible, absolutely shitty. It ain't pedophilia, okay? And it ain't as bad as if that 40-year-old man was fucking a 5-year-old. It just simply isn't. So everybody going around with the Ralph is a pedo shit. Come on, cool it, man. I get that Ralph has made a lot of enemies, and I get that all the mundane Matts and the Krauts of the world, they want to take their shot now that they got their shot. I get it. But cool it with that. That's all I'm saying. And again, I'm not sitting here defending Ethan Ralph. I mean, you know, he's made a lot of terrible decisions. He's made a lot of enemies, and again, this recent behavior is fucking indefensible. You know, and there's no apologies. Like, he was on fucking stream complaining about the people that have betrayed him in all this, and he says, "Oh, it's fine, I forgive them. I'm like Jesus on the cross." Like, no, motherfucker, you ain't like Jesus on the cross, okay? Because Jesus didn't get on that cross by releasing revenge porn of a fucking teenager, alright? At this point, you're a lot more like one of the two thieves on the cross.
If even that.
And frankly, I don't think you're... And it's not sounding like you're the one that repented. I mean, look, Monday Matt came with the heat on this, and Monday Matt does seem somewhat contrite and somewhat over his actions a couple years ago. That's what he should be. That said, though, I mean, Monday Matt, you know, had a thin skin and he flagged some people. Shouldn't have done that. That was shitty, but that's a lot different than releasing revenge porn. I don't know if this will ruin his show. He obviously has a very strong core audience. And obviously people don't tune into Ralph because, you know, they think he's their fucking pastor. It's about entertainment, you know, and let's be real. I mean, there's not a lot of entertainment you can consume where the people involved aren't shitbags, okay? I mean, that's you know, not just the internet. I mean, look at fucking Hollywood, for fuck's sake. They're all fucking kids. Like, I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta separate the art from the artist, as it were. You know, as I've said on here numerous times, Captain America is a stand-up man, an absolute pillar of morality. You know, God bless Steve Rogers. You'd love to have him as a friend, but Chris Evans, on the other hand, is a piece of shit who probably had to let some obese, you know, Jewish man fuck him in the ass to get that role. I don't know if he'll bounce back from this. Look, I don't particularly watch a lot of Ralph's stuff. I don't watch D-Live that much. I just don't. I just don't wander over to D-Live that much. It's nothing against D-Live, but just, you know, it's easier to use YouTube on your phone. I mean, that's just the cold hard reality of it. You know, I have YouTube on my fucking Roku. You know, I can't get D-Live going on the fucking Roku. You know what I mean? It's just easier to watch YouTube. For better or worse. I don't know if he'll bounce back from this or not. I really don't. I don't think he should. For his own good. I think this man needs to hit a rock bottom, because here's the stone cold reality. And again, I don't really dislike Ralph. I I don't really wish ill on Ralph. He's done wrong and he should pay for it. But he's not somebody I absolutely consider just utterly shitty, just utterly irredeemable. There are people on the web that I look at and they're just fucking dirtbags, and I'm like, the world would just objectively be a completely better place if their heart stopped beating. There's a lot of people I would put in that category among E-celebs. Jim Sterling, Movie Bob, Spoonie, just a couple off the top of my head, you know. And those are all left-wingers, so let's pick on some right-wingers. Richard Spencer. Who the hell else? Basically all the TRS crowd. Like, these are just shitty, fucking, virtually irredeemable people. As irredeemable as a person can be. I don't really think Ralph is that bad, but he's definitely shitty, and I hate... Look, if you're still out there giving him super chats, it's sort of like the Spoonie situation. You're not doing him any favors. You're just enabling him. And Ralph's going to be dead in like 5 years if he doesn't turn shit around. You know, I mean, I can't see the future. I don't, maybe, I might be dead in 5 years. I might be dead in 5 minutes. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. But, I mean, Ralph is going to drink and eat himself into a very early grave if he doesn't stop this. If he doesn't stop what he's doing. If he doesn't hit some sort of rock bottom. If Ralph doesn't get sober, he will not be alive in 2030. I would put money on that fact. On that prediction, I should say. So when you're out there kissing his ass and telling him, everything's fucking fine, you're not doing him any fucking services. You're just not. If you give a fuck about him, stop sending him money. If you want to watch a train wreck and want to watch this man die an early death, I would say send him money. I mean, I'm not where I want to be in life, and I'm sure a lot of you in the chat aren't where you want to be in life, but you're not Ralph. You are probably not as bad off as Ralph. Maybe your bank account ain't looking as nice as Ralph, because at least according to his ex, as of just less than a year ago, he had $50K sitting in his checking account. And, I mean, you would think he would have to. Because, I mean, he was making money hand over foot. But, I don't know, buy your way out of hell with that money. Good luck to you. Domino Mortis says Ralph is like the adult version of Eric Cartman. He never had a real job. I've heard that. I've also heard Ralph is considerably more liberal than he lets on. I've heard rumors he has a taste for the shall we say the blacked and the dog fart type programming. I've heard a lot of degenerate shit about him. I don't know how much of it's true, but I mean, some of us say he gets poon while being incredibly embarrassing, which makes the rest of us feel like Sigma Chads. I mean, look, a lot of people are going like, oh, it's so Chad that he's fucking an 18-year-old. I got news for you. That's not the hardest thing in the world to do. Like, it really isn't. It's like getting a three-way with two girls. Like, everybody thinks it's this fucking, elusive unicorn that no one can find, but like, I mean, if you really want to do it, you're gonna do it. Let me put it that way. Fucking. So he says he's also like Spoonie in that he will be absolutely unemployable if he further crashes and burns. Oh, Ralph couldn't. I don't know what the employment thing is. Like, I don't know what it's like in Virginia economically and all, but he would have a hard time getting a lot of jobs. I mean, he's a convicted felon who is best known for, you know, being a neo-Nazi on the internet. I mean, again, deserved or not, you know, that's the brush he gets tarred with. You know, he gets... That's the fucking brush he gets painted with. And, somebody says...
CEO of your own time travel company.
Oh, wow, really? That's so awesome. Now I'll really work to be successful.
Right on.
Go have sex with yourself, asshole. I'm not that stupid. Just for that, I'm gonna spend my whole childhood eating what I want and doing drugs when I want. Whatever, I do what I want.
No, wait. Oh, God damn it.
Somebody in the chat says, there's plenty of blue-collar businesses out there willing to give a second chance. But, yeah, but here's the issue, though. Ralph hasn't worked in so long. I mean, can you imagine this motherfucker trying to get out there on a construction site or, you know, hopping into the box factory or something? Like, Ralph, you better spend a week out in the yard pulling some weeds or something just to get your heart rate a little bit back up before you attempt to do a real job. I mean, your job right now is to sit on ass and laugh at fucking cringy Nazis as they yell at each other while you collect the super berries. A job you somehow managed to fuck up. It's funny, too, if you see the clip of, like, Ralph. Ralph is live when the other boy is live shitting on Ralph, and you can see he's so distracted. And it sounds like Jay Dyer's in the background trying to go on about, like, fucking, you know, Hollywood Jewish sex cult conspiracies or something. And, you know, Jay Dyer's a very serious man. He takes a lot of things very seriously. He's not a joking man most of the time. And there's Ralph just completely distracted, obviously on his phone, looking at the other issue of the day for him. I don't see a lot of good things coming Ralph's way in the future. Is he making some money still? Fuck yeah, he's making some money still. But I wouldn't trade places with him. Let me put it that way. If, you know, there's some people in this world I would very quickly trade places with. Ethan Ralph is not one of them. You know, if you could Freaky Friday me into somebody else's life, it was like, okay, but that somebody else could be Ethan Ralph. Be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I got some problems, but I will happily wake up tomorrow and face those problems, as opposed to the problems Ralph is facing. Oh, Lordy.
So anything more uplifting these days?
I don't know. You know what I've kind of been looking into the past couple of days? Looking at, it'll sound a little odd, but I've kind of been looking into remember the old Tiger games?
Which ones?
The old Tiger games, the old LCD Tiger games. I got one recently because you know they re-released them. They re-released 4 of them, like this out of the vault kind of thing. It was the Little Mermaid one, X-Men Project X, I think, Transformers Generation 2, which was supposedly a very rare one, and Sonic 3 Tiger game. And I actually got the Sonic 3. I pre-ordered it when the fucking lockdown happened and shit. I think I still have the picture in the thing. Oh no, that's Ralph's belly. Nope, that's my broken ass car. I guess I don't have the Sonic 3 on here. Here's Luke's got it. In this low res screen. I'll go to Windows Capture real quick. But yeah, so I never actually had any of these Tiger games, so it's not purely nostalgic for me. I had a Konami Ninja Turtles one. But I played a lot of these because other kids had them, you know. They got the reputation of being shitty, and I understand why, but it's funny. They're a lot more creative and intricate than a lot of people imagine. Like, it's funny. There was a guy, I watched a video where he was like a Transformers guy, this guy's video, And he got the Transformers one, and he was like, I thought I was going to be making fun of it, but I have to admit I'm actually kind of having fun with this. And I actually found, and I'm thinking of doing a stream, but I found an emulator online that has a bunch of Tiger LCD games, like recreate it. Like, you know, with the still images lighting up and all. And believe it or not, one of them is an MC Hammer Tiger LCD screen, or game. Where you have a dance-off with MC Hammer. So I'm actually thinking of doing a stream where we play a bunch of Tiger games. That sounds like it could be fun. I got the Sonic 3 one. The packaging looks really nice, so I just kind of kept it in packaging and have it like displayed on my game shelf. But I gotta admit, it's I'm kind of, the more I'm looking into these, the more I'm thinking it's another one of those things where it just sort of got AVGN'd too much, where everyone's like, oh, it's so stupid, but it's like there was a lot of fucking wild creativity in these fucking things, you know.
So I recall correctly, there was a Street Fighter version of this.
Oh, they made just about everything. Tiger, that's the biggest reason it's known for such shovelware, is Tiger would make games. They would seek out they were the Funko Pops of their day, Luke. They would seek out every fucking license they could get their hands on. There were Tiger games based on shit like Full House. Which, you know, like, how do you even do that? You know what I mean? But for what they were, like, look, I remember playing the TMNT one I had, and I gotta say, I remember having some fun with it as a kid. You know, and I'm watching this guy play the Transformers Generation 2 one, and I'm like, damn, that actually looks like kind of fun. Like, I feel like if I see that at a GameStop now, you know, for the $15 or something that they're going for, I feel like I'm gonna pick that up. I mean,
played right.
You say you want to be a Street Fighter. You're no Street Fighter. Not until you master the 6 world warriors of the Street Fighter 2 handheld game.
I saw this commercial over and over again.
Like I said, I had the Konami TMNT one, and I played a bunch of other ones because, again, you know, they were super cheap. They were like $15 to $20, which, I mean, granted, this was 90s money, so that's more than $15 to $20 is now. But, a Game Boy game was like $40. You know what I mean? And you had to already own a Game Boy. So here's the thing, like, everybody makes fun of them, like, oh, you know, oh, can you believe they were taking advantage of kids or something with the... Tiger, and this is part of why they were able to get all these video game licenses, because you'd think, like, why would, for example, Capcom, like, you know, license out the Tiger? Isn't that competing with their other game? Well, of course it's not. Nobody bought, for example, the Sonic 3 Tiger game instead of Sonic 3 unless they were just fucking poor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you got the Sonic 3 Tiger handheld, it's either because you really, really like Sonic, and this is additional shit your parents bought you on top of the game, or you're fucking poor, and this is the best you got. You know? Like, yeah, I had TMNT Tiger handheld, okay? But I also had TMNT 1 and 2 on the NES, and I had the first one on the Game Boy. So it ain't like I had that instead of a TMNT video game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I remember having a lot of fun with it. And you know, it's weird because people fondly remember the Nintendo Game & Watch, right? Like, all those games got recreated in the Game & Watch galleries on the Game Boy, right? Where they kind of recreated the original and then sort of redid the game with Mario characters. Like, you know, and there'd be like 3 or 4 of those games on each one of them. There were 4 of them, actually. I think 3 on the Game Boy and then 1 on Part 4 on the Game Boy Advance. But the Tiger games were the same fucking thing. It was the exact same technology. You know, it was that LCD fucking, basically kind of the same technology of a calculator. And yeah, it just sort of was, you know, I mean, everybody seemingly got one of those. And think about it, like, if, you know, let's say you're an aunt and you're looking to get your nephew something for fucking their birthday. You know, your nephew's birthday's coming around. You got to go and you got to get him something. You know what the fuck game systems they got, or you don't know what games they already got or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you stop at the fucking any store back in the day, and it's like, well, he likes Sonic. Here, I'll get him a Sonic one. And you know what? He probably had a lot of fun with it. Was it as fun as his Sonic game on the Game Boy or the Game Gear or the Genesis? Of course not, but it was fun. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, like when they announced these re-releases, everybody put up their cliched YouTube video on the gaming channel. Can you believe this? These things were such trash. And then you see those same guys like do a joke review of it, where they're like, okay, this is actually kind of good. Like, yeah, for what they were, most of them were good. Obviously, when you're fucking adapting something like Full House, you're going to come up with something like garbage, because that's a doomed premise from the start. You know what I mean? And a lot of it was shovelware. Like, I can't imagine the Flintstones John Goodman movie Tiger game is any good, for example. But some of them were fucking good. So he says, why are you shilling for Tiger? I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where I just feel like it becomes this kind of like... I don't know. It just becomes like it's cool to crap on it without anyone actually thinking. And the amount of videos I've seen in the last couple weeks, I've watched where somebody actually buys these and tries to do a joke review and then has to admit it's actually pretty good. Supposedly the one that's not selling, though, is the Little Mermaid one. And I guess they picked it because it was a huge seller. And I remember like 2 different girls in elementary school that had that fucking thing. That and the Beauty and the Beast one. But I guess not as many chicks are into a lot of retro shit as us guys.
Yeah, probably not.
Somebody says I got a Top Gun Game Boy from the... Yeah, Konami did their own line of them, and they were different shaped than the Tiger one. So they obviously did the games that they had licenses for. Like, there was Top Gun, there was TMNT, and I want to say they did a Contra one, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, these things were not as bad as everyone makes them out to be. Like, everyone makes them out to be like this absolute like bottom of the barrel and shit, and it's like, I have played more than a few Game Boy games that were far shittier than some of the Tiger games that were out there. 40 might be joining us. I sent him a link. I don't know. It might be too late for him, because I know it's like he can't make loud noises or something if it's too late. Whatever European hellhole he's hiding out in. Somebody says the Mega Man 3 Tiger game was a lot of fun.
Oh, Rescue Rangers.
Oh yeah, dude. Basically everything got a Tiger game. I know there was a Duck Hunt one, or not a DuckTales one. Like I said, there was a fucking MC Hammer Tiger game. God damn.
What was that show called?
Tailspin?
Tailspin, that's it.
I hated Tailspin as a kid. I don't remember why exactly, but just something about it just always bored me. I liked DuckTales, I liked Rescue Rangers, but Tailspin was shit.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast. I never liked Tailspin either. I'm not sure why though.
Just never connected with me. Oh, what the fuck else was I going to talk about? There's something else I want to bring up, and I completely fucking lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm so bad at this, Luke. I'm so bad. Should say the Contra one, how 80s. But you got to remember, that was a huge Konami. I'm pretty sure it was Konami. Let's see. I had a Star Fox wristwatch game. I didn't know that Nintendo was still making... Because I would have been in their Game & Watch series. I didn't know they were still making that shit as late as Star Fox. So So he says the TMNT game was better than the NES one. I never beat that game as a kid. Good God. It was rare when I could get past the fucking dam level. And when I did, I'd be stuck with like 2 turtles. And once you lose Donatello, your game's basically fucking over because he's the OP motherfucker in that group. I definitely like Turtles 2 a lot better than Turtles 1. Although I will say, the fucking music in Turtles 1 is bitchin'. Oh, that's some great... Like, Konami's TMNT 1 for the NES feels like it's just a little bit more polish away from being amazing. Like, just balance it a bit fucking more, man. Like, I keep hearing that, like, once you lose a turtle, there's a way to, like, find them and rescue them and get them back, you know, basically, you know, get a one-up for the lives you lost, but it's like, I never encountered that as a kid. I never found how you can get your fucking turtle back. Good old Donatello. I like the, everyone knew the glitch when you're fighting Rocksteady. How you could cheese it up on the fucking ledge. Just fuck him up. Turtles in Time was the best. I did not have a Super Nintendo growing up, but my one friend did, and I played a lot of Turtles in Time over at his house. That was right towards the end of the Ninja Turtle craze. Like, I was starting to fall out of the Ninja Turtles a little bit. I was big into Turtles from about 88 to 92. After 92, I mean, I never stopped liking it. I remain a casual fan of the Ninja Turtles to this day, but I just sort of fell out of it in favor of other things. I think I kind of latched on to Sonic a bit more after that. Because I know I went Genesis instead of Super Nintendo. And Sonic was the big reason for that. Although I still contend I made the better choice. So many great Genesis games. Have you seen the MC Hammer cartoon from the 1990? I did not know that existed as a kid.
I vaguely remember it, but I never really watched it.
But I've heard of it in years, you know, in my adult years, and you know, like he got magic shoes from some soul singer from the 70s who it gave him superpowers, and now it gives MC Hammer superpowers. So, wow. It's almost weird that it's like now he's a superhero. He's a legacy superhero, which you don't see that often. But, oh man, that was. Do you remember the cartoon where it had Wayne Gretzky, and then it had some football player and some, I want to say basketball player, who I don't remember, and they were like the sports all-stars or something. And they were superheroes who had like equipment that was based on their sports gear. Like Wayne Gretzky had like a magic hockey stick that he beat people up with. And like these
I think I have it. I think it's called Pro Stars.
That sounds right.
Let me see if I can find an intro for this.
Like Wayne Gretzky's the only one I can remember by name from it. But oh man, they just make a show out of anything back then.
Is this it here?
Maybe. Oh man, it's so blurry I can barely see it.
It's blurry even as for the YouTube video.
That's probably why.
Let's see if this plays.
Let's see if we can get sound at least. Oh yeah, you had rocket sneakers! God, it was so stupid.
Oh yeah, the hockey stick with that. Oh yeah, roller skis. Roller skates.
Hockey puck turns into a boomerang.
Yes. Let's see. Okay, environmental stuff, I guess. He's super strong. Oh, that's all.
One of them was probably Bo Jackson. Because he was top fucking shit in the early 90s. Like, he was actually a professional football player and then became baseball player, or the other way around. Like he was actually in the NFL and the NBA. Or not the what? No, not the NBA. The what the fuck is a baseball thing? NBL, Major League, MLB.
Yeah, I never saw this though.
New Kids on the Block had a cartoon. Oh, I never watched it as a kid because I thought this is fucking stupid. Like, even as a little kid, like, I mean, I could get into fucking Captain N for fuck's sake. I guess it's because I was never a sports ball kid, but I'm like, this is stupid. Like, Wayne Gretzky was the only one I fucking knew. Why? Who cares about these other ones? I don't give a shit. This is all stupid. It's really one of those things where even as a kid, you're just like, this is fucking insulting my intelligence. Like, when was this? 1990? I'd have been like 7, and I still felt fucking insulted.
Yeah, 1991.
Okay, I'd have been 8, and I still was like, this is dumb. This is gay. This is just gay.
See, what is their last saying? Just
Pro Stars. It's all about helping kids.
Yeah, I don't know. These days, I'm kind of like, you stay away from the kids. Most celebrities, the kids don't want your help. Let me put it that way. So yeah, there was a Battletoads cartoon, chat. I again never knew that as a kid, but I would come to see it like later.
I never saw that one.
I never got into Battletoads. I just never really saw the fucking appeal. It just, even at the time, I remember as a kid thinking, like, this just looks like fucking dollar store Ninja Turtles to me. It looks like it was the GoBots to the Ninja Turtles Transformers.
Oh wow, this animation looks poor.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Oh. What was that supposed to be?
Yeah, they could just shapeshift. I don't know. Like I said, there were also humans that turned into toads. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Battletoads lore. I just know that I'd fuck the Dark Queen. All right, that's all I know. The Dark Queen for president. I support our Dark Queen overlord. So he says it was unaired. I think it got a VHS release though.
Oh, this is like a Sonic, the Sonic animated series bad, like the other version bad.
Yeah, the one with like the Adventures of Sonic. That one was fucking garbage. It's so weird that was out at the exact same time as the really good one with Princess Sally. Like, I'd never heard of that before, where it's like 2 different versions of an adaptation air at the exact same time. How do you even do that? How do you even sell the rights to to make cartoons to 2 different people at the same time?
Apparently Sonic did that, like the Sonic franchise did that all over the place. They had multiple different versions in the video games, the comic books, and the TV shows, and 2 TV shows apparently.
It's so weird too, because the Archie comic, like, it obviously took its primary, it obviously took primarily from the, it was in development at the time, because the Archie comic actually predates both these cartoons. But it took primarily from the what they call the Sat AM one, the one with Princess Sally and shit. But it also took elements from the adventure stuff, like those 3 robots. Only 2 of which I think were actually in the games. The monkey and the one with the drills were actually in Sonic 2. I don't think the chicken one was. But those 3 robots are in the comic a lot, like early on. Oh man, that cartoon was so fucking weird.
Oh yeah, it was one of the cartoons that had like Sonic says moral messages at the end.
Sonic has not had a good cartoon except Sat AM. I'm gonna just say that right now. Sonic X is dog shit. Anyone who's telling me Sonic X was good, you're fucking wrong. Okay, you're just fucking wrong.
That one's based off, and that's probably stuff the Dreamcast game. The Dreamcast game is not particularly memorable.
Like, guess what? Sonic X has really, really good animation and art direction. Everything else about it is dog shit. Sonic Boom is kind of okay, like ironically, like how much it's like just sort of shitting on Sonic stuff. And Sonic Underground is the DeviantArt fucking Sonic cartoon. Like it's literally Sonic with a couple of DeviantArt OCs who are supposed to be like his brothers or something. Oh, it's fucking awful. It's weird. Like I still to this day like always have a soft spot for Sonic, but I really can't call myself a fucking Sonic fan because it's like 90% of the fucking franchise I think is dog shit. Like my two favorite things about Sonic are the things that the people that own Sonic basically ignore at this point, and that's Sonic 3 and Knuckles and the Princess Sally cartoon / comic. So he says, how do you feel about the Mario cartoon? For the time, the Mario cartoon wasn't bad. It hasn't aged as well as the Zelda cartoon, which was on at basically the same time. That said, though, the Mario cartoon's not too bad. And, you know, if the Sat AM cartoon had never been out, maybe I wouldn't feel so hard on, like, Sonic Adventure, or the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just that, like, there was a infinitely better Sonic cartoon out at the exact same fucking time. You know what I mean?
Look, most of the original Sonic team has long since moved on, and while Sega can be said to have done a lot of things right lately, taking care of their one-time favorite son hasn't been one of them. Instead, Sonic finds himself in the unenviable position of being popular enough to be useful, but apparently not loved enough to be used well.
That's right. I mean...
They just don't know what to do with them. They have great ideas, they just don't bother using them anymore.
Your cartoon's pretty decent, and it suffers from being a 2000s cartoon where they had to shove a bunch of CG in it, so the animation's a little rough in that regard. But the Kirby cartoon's pretty decent.
It helps to have your main character CGI and every other character CGI too.
Yeah, Kirby's pretty decent. That was a decent video game cartoon. Again, I still contend the best video game cartoon, at least aimed at kids, I've ever seen has been the Legend of Zelda one, from the Dick Legend of Zelda 80s, late 80s one. I mean, it's got like some corny one-liners and some bad villain plans, like every other action cartoon had, but other than that, it's pretty fucking solid. That's right.
How can I help you, King DDD?
I need a monster to claw out there, Kirby.
That's what we do best at NME.
You better get it with a money-back guarantee.
That's right. Excuse me. The Zelda cartoon's pretty good.
Yeah, Zelda's never had a cartoon after that.
It's not a bad cartoon though, man. I mean, like, I don't know. I wish Nintendo's finally in the last few years started to like actually license shit out in the West again. Like, you're getting obviously a lot of Nintendo figures these last several years. You know, the Mario Lego stuff, that kind of thing. And they're finally getting over the disaster of the live-action Mario movie. But I'd love to see them do more. Like, it's a shame. Like, back when Archie was doing the Sonic and Mega Man comics, those were amazing. Like, I always thought they should have tried to get some Nintendo properties too, you know. But, like, a lot of Nintendo properties would make great comics, you know, over at IDW or Boom or something like that. You can make great cartoons out of them. Imagine, like, a really, like, highly produced, like, same production values of the Castlevania cartoon, but, like, Metroid or something, you know? A Zelda cartoon would be great. I mean, Kirby had a decent one. A Mario cartoon or comic would be solid.
Superpowers, the Super Mario Brothers rescue Princess Toadstool and beat back the evil Koopa family. Get the flourish.
I love how the Mario cartoon starts off the Super Mario Super Show. And then it just literally, when they like start doing Mario 3 stuff, they just call it The Adventures of Mario 3. Which is the dumbest fucking title.
Yeah.
I love the live action guys that like it was like two wrestlers, but they're dressed like Mario and Luigi, and they have some sort of like, you know, I don't know, they like they're plumbers. I guess it takes place before the cartoon, before they went to the Mushroom Kingdom, but they're just plumbers in Brooklyn, and there'd be like random celebrities would show up and like chat with them. There's a fucking episode where Elvira shows up. And it's just with her big old titties half hanging out like they always are. Just Elvira. With her big old titties half out. Just hanging out with the Mario Brothers. Because I seen somebody turn that into a meme where it's like Mario inviting Bayonetta to Smash Brothers. Except, but it's like, oh dude, I love those live action guys. Why couldn't the movie have been with those guys? Just that level of over-the-top ridiculous bullshit, but live action. Oh my god, that would have been awesome.
Here we are.
Fucking Elvira just hanging out with the Ninja with Mario. Just fucking little kids cartoon. Her titties are half out. I love it. Like I just picture like somebody on set was like, could we maybe cover up some Elvira? And somebody else was like, shut up, nerd. We're jump starting some puberties today. Oh. Fucking late 80s, man. We didn't care. Elvira is a redhead in real life, chat. You are correct. And she's still hot. She's older than dirt. Like, she's still hot. The bitch must actually be a vampire. Oh. Oh, man. That's the good old days, Luke. That's the good old days. All right. Nowadays, you wouldn't be allowed to have Elvira's big old titties in a kid's show, but you could have fucking trans lesbians. Like, we've reached some sort of a narco-tyranny fucking stage of the sexual revolution. Man, I remember the Ninja Turtles, like April O'Neil fucking had her big old titties like half out in every episode, her fucking goofy jumpsuit she wore for some reason. And then there's like the action figure where she still just got big old titties. You know they almost didn't make enough Aprils? I remember as a little kid it was so hard to get a fucking April. Because like the boomers that ran the toy industry were like, oh, no, the boys aren't going to want to buy the girl character. Which nowadays, it's almost the opposite. They make the boys buy the girl character. But it's like, obviously, if you're a Ninja Turtle fan, I mean, she's kind of an important character. Like, she's in every episode. Every fucking video game involved rescuing her. I mean, we need some April O'Neil with her titties out, Luke. Enough of this fucking gay lesbian cartoons. We need April O'Neil's big old titties out. Every fucking episode, her jumpsuit, it's like Elvira's fucking dress. Her fucking jumpsuit is just unbuttoned halfway down her titties. It's amazing how, like, again though, you could barely find the April figure for a while because the boomers running things were like, oh, we're not gonna make Aprils because boys aren't gonna want her. It's amazing how stupid the boys, the boomers running these fucking industries were at the time. When they made the Bucky O'Hare cartoon, and it's funny, Larry Hama was the guy that created it, and Larry Hama, unless you're a comic nerd like me, you don't know the name, but you know the stuff he created. Larry Hama is the guy that created all the mythology behind G.I. Joe. Like Cobra and all the different characters and stuff like that, that was all Larry Hama. Because before him, G.I. Joe was just the generic fucking army dolls. You know what I mean? And so he created everything anybody gives a shit about when it comes to the brand G.I. Joe. And he wanted to make his own cartoon. It was an idea I'd been sitting on for a while, Bucky O'Hare. And Bucky O'Hare had a season that had pretty decent ratings, and the VHS tapes sold well and were really popular in the rental stores and that kind of shit. And they of course made the toys. Now, they made equal amounts of each character in the first line, right? Now, the problem with that is, obviously, some characters are going to sell better than others. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you only have enough money for one figure, or, parents are only going to buy you one figure, so you get Bucky. Obviously, he's going to sell more than others. So, a bunch of the other characters end up in a... it does not look like April's a hostage in that situation. It looks like Rocksteady's about ready to take her to Pound Town. Like, she doesn't look like she's struggling as he's carrying her away. You know what I'm saying?
He's under the influence of a love potion in this scene.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, he's giving her the come hither look. But anyways. So, with the Bucky O'Hare stuff, all these other characters didn't sell, so they went ahead and canceled the toy line, right? And then they canceled the show, because these shows, as far as executives were concerned, existed only to sell toys. They didn't care how good the ratings were. They just did not look at... And it's not like ratings didn't make them money. Obviously, there were all sorts of commercials for cereal and bullshit that were making them money during these cartoons. But they just didn't care about that. They just wanted to sell the toys, So they fucked up the toy line and caused some of the figures to not sell well enough, caused them to be in clearance bins, so they canceled Bucky O'Hare early. Even though it was doing well, it was picking up steam. The other thing they did that was stupid, the one character in Bucky O'Hare, they're all like animal. It's sort of like Star Fox, if you've never seen Bucky O'Hare. It's a bunch of anthropomorphic animals in this space opera setting, right? And the first mate, Jenny, is the first mate of this ship, as well as Captain Bucky O'Hare's girlfriend, right? So she's a major fucking character, right? So you'd think she'd be in the first line of figures. They didn't put her in the first line of figures because, again, the boys aren't going to buy the girl character. It just... And to this day, if you were, at a con and, Larry Hama was signing stuff and you asked him about Bucky O'Hare, he will talk your ear off for a fucking hour about how they fucking fucked him over on Bucky O'Hare. He actually specifically designed all the characters and the ships and stuff to be easy to make into very, very accurate toys. He was really forward thinking with a lot of that shit. I had a Bucky O'Hare and I had the one-eyed robot guy. Because I did like Bucky O'Hare. It was a great cartoon, but it's it just came and went in a flash of pan. And I just always assumed growing up that maybe nobody else liked it or something, you know what I mean? But then as an adult, I'd find all these people that actually managed to catch it were super fucking nostalgic for it. This show was amazing. And then I look into the history and I see, oh yeah, they fucked old Larry Hama up on this, didn't they? Somebody in the chat says, yeah, I never found the April O'Neil figure. I was lucky enough to. But I remember my dad had to check several toy stores to find April.
Nowadays, with cartoons, they have the inverse problem. They're selling cartoons just for the ideology, but not for the sake of making toys, which is why certain cartoons will not get made now.
Yeah, I guess there's always some idiots in charge that fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because here's an interesting fact. I watch a lot of Goldfish TV, and they point out that even though Steven Universe was very popular, no one bought their toys.
Yeah, because it was just adults watching it. There was a bunch of fucking stunted adults that were watching it. I mean...
And they don't buy stuff. It's ultimate to adults don't buy things.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there were adult collectible toys for Steven Universe, but no actual figures, for kids, you know what I mean? Somebody said Splinter and Shredder were hard to find. I never had a hard time finding them, but goddamn, they never gave us a fucking show-accurate Shredder. The Shredder figure is so weird. The first Shredder figure in the Ninja Turtle line. First of all, he's in this weird hunched-over pose, which doesn't make any sense, that you can't get him out of. His back is all, bent. This motherfucker's got scoliosis. And he doesn't have a shirt. He has, a cloth, robe over him, But he's just wearing pants and shit. It's like so weird. Like, it doesn't look like how he looks like in the cartoon at all.
Let's see if I can find a picture of this guy.
Yeah, the Shredder toy was fucking dog shit. I mean, I was happy to have a Shredder toy, but...
I mean, that would be a really popular character.
Oh, yeah, obviously everybody got the Shredder toy. I'm just saying that we didn't get a good Shredder toy for a while. I think the first good-looking Shredder toy I remember was when the second movie came out. You could get, like, ones, like, movie-based toys.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah, look at him. He doesn't have a shirt on! And then that purple thing is just cloth, and you're gonna lose it. Like, every kid eventually loses it. And then you're just left with this shirtless motherfucker, like Shredder just running around with this shirtless motherfucker.
With a bow and arrow.
Well, Splinter came with the bow and arrow for some reason. I don't remember him using a bow and arrow in the cartoon, though.
Oh, yeah, and you can all of a sudden dress the characters for whatever reason.
Yeah, and Splinter came with a robe that came off, too. Like, cloth robes don't look good on figures. Even as a kid, I kind of... Look at him, he's, like, weirdly hunched over and shit. And, like, his legs are all stance. He's got this weird pointed position and all. He doesn't sit right in vehicles. It was such a fucking bad figure.
I'm sincerely hoping they don't mess this series up. This is actually the only good series on Disney right now that has like the best of both, now the negatives.
No shirt is very 80s-ish, I guess. Cronyism and nepotism. Somebody says Jax, who has made the Nintendo and Mario figures, still has not made Daisy, Rosalina, Birdo, or Pauline. Only Peach. Literally all the main characters have made. Well, they made Mario, Luigi, in like the regular size. I know you're talking about. And I got the Peach. They made like a red Toad, and then they made like a yellow and a blue Toad. They made a Bowser Jr. We've gotten Donkey Kong and Diddy too, although that's not quite Mario. And I think we got a couple of the Koopa kids. Like I think we got Ludwig. I know I actually picked up a Ludwig. There's like a Magic Koopa. There's a bunch of random enemies. But you're right. We really should have Daisy and Pauline. Like, I'd scoop up a Daisy and a Pauline in a heartbeat. That Shredder was crap. Looked nothing like the cartoon or the original comic. Yeah, it was a terrible fucking design. It was a terrible pose. That was such a bad figure.
Hey, Beckloff, I'm gonna exit out and call back to my Skype to see if it improves the picture.
All right. I'll take that off Windows Capture for a minute. Oh. Hang on. Looks like Luke's calling on Skype. I don't know if I can screen share Skype. Hang on. Of course I got the fucking settings on Skype fucked up. Hang on. I'm going to hang up on you and call you back, Luke. Every time I unplug my microphone, Skype fucks up the settings. It decides, anytime the microphone gets unplugged, Skype decides now my speakers are my microphone. Or the microphone is the speakers or something like that. Hang on. Microphone speakers. Alright, that should work. So I'll call Luke back. Somebody says, where's Forney? I guess he's not hopping in. I don't know. Let's see if... we can hear you. It's kind of soft.
How's the picture? Is it better?
It's better on my end, but I gotta see if I can Windows capture Skype. Hang on a second. I gotta set up another Windows capture for Skype. Let's see if it'll work. Sorry folks, I know. Very, very professional show. Okay, maybe that'll work.
It's a learning process, everyone.
Let's see. It doesn't seem to want to work on Skype.
Oh well, we'll try it another time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out for some other show. Well, you know what? We've gone on an hour and 20 minutes. Yes, I know, it's the Boomer Tech Hour, chat. It is the Boomer Tech Hour. But we've gone on for more than an hour, so I think we're going to probably wrap this up for tonight. Because I do got some shit I got to work on tonight, and then I actually have to get up at a decent time. I have an appointment in the morning. Oh, well, Luke, thanks as always for your sidekick duties. And plus, you probably got to get on to a Dashing Rogue show here soon.
An hour or so, yeah.
All right. So everyone, you can check that out on Dashing Rogue's channel tonight. Yes, that's right. Boomer Tech Hour, chat. I know. And that's about all we got for tonight. I want to thank you all for listening. Oh, remember